Channel 2 with Bill Warden, Skywatch meteorologist Matt DiNardo, and Jason Powell in sports. News Channel 2 at 11 begins now.
Having lost a month due to election wrangling, President-elect George W. Bush is wasting no time putting his cabinet together tonight. We'll tell you who his picks were today and who's slated to be named tomorrow, coming up. But first, one local man stumbles on a bag full of presents and wants to brighten someone's Christmas by returning them. They could be yours, so you'll want to hear our top story on News Channel 2 at 11. Good evening, everybody. A most remarkable story. This Christmas could be a very bleak one for some kids, though, if a mystery isn't solved. You see, a Utica man has found some presents. Now he wants to make sure they get back to their rightful owners. Susan Tran spoke with the Good Samaritan. She joins us live now with more. Susan?
Bill, this West Utica man wanted to remain anonymous. He says he doesn't want any attention or notoriety. He just wants to make sure some kids get the gifts their great-grandparents intended for them to have. The man says he was driving along Old Burstone Road last Friday morning at around 10 when he noticed a bag in the middle of the intersection there on Old Burstone Road and Grandview Avenue. He pulled over and discovered the bag was full of wrapped Christmas presents. 5 presents were nicely wrapped and labeled, ready to be handed out. The man says he waited in the area for about 10 minutes, hoping for the owners of the presents to return, but no one did. Because the gifts were all neatly piled in a bag, he thinks perhaps someone had forgotten the bag on top of the car and sped off, sending the bag of gifts onto the street. Now, he just wants to make sure the gifts get back to the owners so that they can hand them out. There were 5 presents inside this Aeropostale bag. They were individually labeled, and if these presents belong to you, please call WKTV at 733-0404 between 9 and 5. You'll need to identify who the presents were intended for in order to get them back. Now, Bill, I did try to get our Good Samaritan to talk with us on camera, but he was adamant about keeping his anonymity. He says, you don't see Santa bringing gifts at night, so you won't be seeing him. Bill?
All right. I don't blame him. Thank you, Susan. With Christmas only 5 days away, it's been a very busy day for mail carriers. It seems a lot of folks across the country are trying to get last-minute cards and packages out
the corner of Old Burstone Road and Grandview Avenue last Friday morning. He didn't want any recognition, just for the gifts to be returned to their rightful owners. And tonight we were there when the owners got them back.
Joe's not there.
By all the pictures on the wall, you can tell the Frans love their big family. And last weekend, they were on their way to have an early Christmas with them.
Well, we were going up to our family get-together in Central Square. And we went up with the Jeep, and as we said, we went around the corner, and I felt cold in the car, and I looked back, and I says, John, now the back end is open. So
they pulled over. John looked around and didn't think anything was missing and continued driving to be with family.
Well, I was putting everything under the tree, and I couldn't find these presents, and I couldn't imagine. We went out and we looked the car over, and everybody else came out and looked the car over, and no presents.
That's because the bag filled with 5 presents were laying in the middle of the intersection. But a Good Samaritan had picked them up and contacted WKTV to help find the rightful owners. The Frans saw the story.
We saw the presents there, all 5 of them. I think I started to cry. I was so surprised.
So Kay called the station to claim her gifts.
They wanted me to identify everything, told me what the tags read. And of course, I knew what they read, because I made them out.
And the Good Samaritan still remains anonymous, but not to the Frans.
So he was just happy to return them, and it was wonderful to know that there are people like that around.
John says this small token of kindness really picked up his spirits. And as for the grandchildren and great-grandchildren?
They're going to get 2 presents now. One before and this one's here, these here.
Wonderful. Well, with only a couple of days to go until the holidays, shoppers aren't just hitting the malls.